Rainbow Road. It's one of the most iconic tracks in Mario Kart history. It's one of those tracks that's had so many variations over the years, so today I'm gonna rank every single one on a tier list. And viewer discretion, my rankings are probably gonna piss you off, so feel free to make fun of me in the comments and also drop your list. So the first Rainbow Road we have is the OG Rainbow Road on the SNES. Now compared to other tracks on this list, the SNES Rainbow Road is very simple, but it was the very first Rainbow Road to come in the Mario Kart franchise. The one thing that gets this track out of the very bottom of the tier list is the difficulty. The slim road and 90-degree sharp turns actually make this track a fairly good challenge, especially on the older games. But for the overall basicness of this track, I'm gonna put it in C tier. The next track on the list is Rainbow Road for the N64. One thing I like about this track is as you're driving around, there's some cool star constellations or light up images of some of the other characters in the game, which I think is a nice visual touch. But overall, this Rainbow Road is not good. The guardrails basically eliminate all challenge on this Rainbow Road, which I feel like Rainbow Road should have. There are very few obstacles on the track, with a chain chomp coming down the track every now and then, but besides that, there's really nothing. And in addition to that, a full race on this track takes about 6 full minutes to complete, which is so long to just be driving with almost no obstacles. So with all that said, I'm putting the N64 Rainbow Road in D tier. The remake of this track in Mario Kart 8 Deluxe is much better, but I'm only ranking the original track. And I'm afraid the original track is at the bottom of the Rainbow Roads. Next up on the list is Rainbow Road for the Game Boy Advance and Mario Kart Super Circuit. Now at first glance, this track looks very similar to the SNES version, but it's actually pretty different. This track just has more to do in my opinion, with all the jumps and the bumpers on the side of the road that allow you to take some pretty cool cuts. I mean, just looking at the minimap, you can tell it has a lot more action than the original Rainbow Road, and I slightly prefer the music on this one just a little bit more. The blue atmosphere around the track kind of makes it feel less like it's in space, but I kind of like the visual appeal. And for those reasons, Mario Kart Super Circuit's Rainbow Road is going in B tier. Next up, we have Mario Kart Double Dash's Rainbow Road for the GameCube. And personally, I love this Rainbow Road track. I think it just has a lot going on the original track itself, with all the spins and the loops that you do and all the boost pads on the track, and going up and out of the pipe at the end is a really nice touch. And I believe that this track is the first Rainbow Road that takes place above a city, and you can see it down below, and that just gives it a great atmosphere. The music's good, the vibe is good, and this track is just overall good. So Mario Kart Double Dash's Rainbow Road is going in A tier. I just feel like this track is a stronger version of another similar Rainbow Road on this list. And speaking of that similar Rainbow Road, we have Mario Kart DS up next. The design of this Rainbow Road is overall very good, but it feels just like a watered down or like copycat version of Mario Kart Double Dash. One thing I do really like about this track design that's original is the loop-de-loops and the spinny loops you go in. Like there's just the original loop-de-loop and then you go in kind of like a spiral loop-de-loop. I think that design is really cool. But overall, this track just loses some originality points because it feels so similar to Double Dash that I can't put it higher or even at the same level. So Mario Kart DS's Rainbow Road is joining Super Circuit in B tier. And next up, we got one of the fan favorites. It's Mario Kart Wii's Rainbow Road. Now in my opinion, this track has literally everything you want in a Rainbow Road. There's just so many interesting things to see on the track, like the figure 8 section where you go around those 2 large holes in the track. There's the star cannon you're shot through. There's kind of like the half pipe thing you go up. There's crossing paths towards the end. It's just super cool. The music is really great, and it also has a super simple and cool shortcut you can use to save some time. But I feel like most importantly, it is a difficult track. I remember playing this track for the first time with my friends and seeing the absolute dread on their face as they fell off over and over and over. It's a track that you have to get really good at to perform well, and even then you can still fall off the track. It really makes it feel like it's the last track of the game, the final challenge, and just exactly how it should feel. Which is why I'm putting the Wii Rainbow Road as our first S tier of the video. Completely amazing track. And before we continue, I am going to switch these two tracks around. I feel like the DS Rainbow Road is better than the Super Circuit one. It's hard to follow up Mario Kart Wii's Rainbow Road, but next up we have Rainbow Road for Mario Kart 7 on the 3DS. And once again, I think Nintendo knocked it out of the park with this Rainbow Road. This was the first section-based Rainbow Road track, and I think they pulled it off perfectly and were able to show so many different interesting things and techniques of driving, and just it's cool. This track has you driving on wavy roads, around planets' rings, on the moon while dodging rolling chain chomps, in a giant spinning cylinder with boost pads, flying through the air through rings. It's just really cool. And the atmosphere of the track is also sick as you go around all these different planets while in space. I didn't really speak about the atmosphere of Mario Kart Wii's Rainbow Road, but I like how it's above the earth and you can see that. But I think 3DS's atmosphere is at the same level, if not a little bit better than Wii's atmosphere. Editing BadStad here, and I don't know if I actually agree with the statement I just said. Wii Rainbow Road's atmosphere is really freaking good. But anyways, back to the video. So Mario Kart 7's Rainbow Road is going straight up to S tier as well, but I'm having it behind Mario Kart Wii. The main thing that I think Mario Kart Wii has them on is difficulty. I just value so highly that difficulty level and how challenging the track feels as the last track of the game. And simply put, I think Mario Kart Wii's Rainbow Road is one of, if not the most iconic track in Mario Kart history. But 3DS Rainbow Road is also really good. And that brings us to an interesting entry on this list, which is Mario Kart 8 / Mario Kart 8 Deluxe. This track received a lot of hate when it first came out, and it's grown on me ever so slightly that I don't think it's one of the worst tracks in the game anymore, but it's definitely not one of the best. I mean, some things I like about this track are the little space station thing where you have to follow the moving arrows, and the end where you change paths and can do some cool jumps. But overall, this track just feels kind of meh. It just feels like, yeah, it's a Rainbow Road. And that makes me feel like Mario Kart 8's Rainbow Road is that perfect mid-tier Rainbow Road, right in B tier in between the two other entries. But finally, we get to one of the entries that a lot of you might be coming to this video to see where I put it, Mario Kart World. Now, a lot of people like this track, but me personally, I also like this track. I think this one's a really good track. You thought I was going to say it was bad, didn't you? I mean, the visuals on this track are just stunning. Like, one of a kind, no doubt the best visuals on this list so far. And this is also another section-based track with 5 sections compared to the other one's 3. I don't know if the first section technically counts as Rainbow Road because you're just driving from Peach's Stadium up in that little, what do you even call it, up to Rainbow Road. But even if you disclude that part, the rest of the track is incredible. Now, I'm a big visual guy, and I think the visuals just look incredible, from the road to the atmosphere to the shine to everything. This track kind of feels like it encapsulates all the previous Rainbow Roads into one giant creation. Some of the coolest sections of this track are when you drive in the Crystal Cavern type area and you get to see all the Lumas and the Toads cheering you on. There's a section where you drive in this big spinning spaceship thing, which reminds me of Bowser's Galaxy Reactor from Mario Galaxy. And finally, when you're on the last stretch of Rainbow Road, you see the train passing you by with a bunch of characters previously seen in the game. It just makes it feel like a final send-off. This track takes around 5 minutes to complete, but I think with all the different stuff you see and all the different places you drive, that is plenty fine with me. Now, one of the bigger complaints with this track is there's not a lot of obstacles or enemies or hazards to avoid, and I kind of agree with that. Like I said earlier, I'm a big difficulty guy, and this track doesn't seem the most difficult to complete, but definitely seems the most visually appeasing. Which is why Mario Kart World is an easy S tier, but I'm gonna put it behind Wii's Rainbow Road. You can call it personal bias, you can call it personal preference, you can call it whatever you want, but I think Wii Rainbow Road is just so iconic and just so difficult and so good, but Mario Kart World is already an iconic track. So there it is. That is my Mario Kart Rainbow Road tier list. Go ahead and flame me in the comments like I said before. My opinions might not match up with yours, but go ahead and drop your list in the comments down below, and I'll see you in the next one.